Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day and that you are reading something really cool. So let us know what you're reading in the comments. And we'll just start with you, Lee. What are you reading?
I'm sorry, my boss just texted me. I am reading Do You Want to Know a Secret by Freda McFadden.
Nice.
Oh. Yeah. So far it's good. I can't even guess what the secret is. Well, I think I might know, but I think there's going to be a twist to that part of it.
Well, then what's going on? If that's
it's kind of like a neighborhood of rich women who keep secrets from each other type of thing.
Desperate Housewives type situation?
Yes, and one of the girls' husband, his first secretary committed suicide. His second one just found dead.
Oh. Okay.
Oh. You know, it's just easier
to
fire.
What the secret is. No.
Exactly. I feel like that's
no, but then you have to pay severance. Yeah.
Just kidding.
It's like, just fire me, please.
Yeah, exactly. Like all of King Henry VIII's wives. Yeah, no, you can just divorce me. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Have you guys, any of you guys seen Six?
Mm-mm.
It's the Broadway show about Henry VIII's wives.
Mm-mm. No, I haven't.
It is amazing, but the entire time, like one of them is like complaining she's the one that like died at birth, and the one of them that's beheaded is real sassy, and she always walks over to her and taps her on the shoulder, and she's like, "My head got cut off." And every time she complains about it made me think of because you were talking. Yeah, it's a fantastic show. I am reading the Murder by Cheesecake, the Golden Girls mystery.
Ooh, and what are we thinking?
I'm actually really enjoying it so far.
Yay.
I feel like the characters are very much written like the characters in the show. Like their responses are exactly what I think that they would be in the show. So I am enjoying that. And then I'm getting ready to start a new romance, which I don't know what I'm going to start. I have no idea, but I'm actually going to, during this sprint, have to work on the points for the Mystery Mayhem because there's a lot of entries. And if I wait till tomorrow, then there'll be even more entries. And so I'm like, oh gosh, and I can't do it at work. So pesky work was getting in the way.
I like 3 books in there today. So yeah.
But now I have all the free time in the world because the Blues lost. No, I'm kidding. Go Maple Leafs.
The Leafs are on in an hour, Tiffany.
Well, we'll be watching it. Don't worry. I just will be screaming at the TV, but I am going to root for the Maple Leafs.
All day long. Garrett's like, Leafs are playing at 8. I'm like, you're telling me like I care.
It's like, okay.
No, I'll hear about it. It's good enough. I'll hear about it.
Right.
But I posted on Instagram. I thought of you, Tiffany. I reposted. It was from 2 years ago when they made it to the Cup again, to the second round, and they were in Florida. And they're like, there's a second round? I thought we were down here to play golf.
Yeah, I really hope that, I mean, the Panthers are a tough team, so
that's the problem.
We'll see. But I'm rooting for them. Anyways.
What you reading, Tammy?
Miss Tammy.
I am reading On the Other Side of the Hill, which is in the Rose Wilder series of Little House.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Nice.
I am also reading a middle grade, The Mighty Heart of Sunny St. James by Ashley Herring Blake. I picked this up yesterday. I'm already a quarter of the way through it. I cannot put this down. It is so good. I am not one, and we had this whole discussion during a live show one time, to underline books. I think it's ridiculous. In this one, I want to tag so many things that she has said about the transplant. It's insane.
Aww.
Like, as someone who's gone through one, you're nodding your head. Like, she's talking about her donor, and she's like, I want to know, what was their favorite color? What was their favorite song? What was, and I've teared up so many times in this already, and I'm only a quarter of the way through.
And so that's a library book, right?
Yeah, it is.
So that means you're going to buy it, right?
Oh,
yeah,
you need to buy
it.
I bought it on audio. So I am listening to it. Like, I'm kind of doing both. I'm right, but I
just figured that since you want to underline or tag it, you might buy your own. And
I will not go back and do it, but I'm just saying.
I'm laughing at
I was
Emily.
wondering if maybe you would.
But
I know it's way down in the comments, Sarah.
Yeah.
I know it's way down in the comments, Sarah, but remember when you said you don't like annotation and you and Emily had that debate?
Yeah.
So at the very bottom, she said, "So now you see the light,
For a
Sarah."
single book of the 1,500 books I've read in my lifetime,
I
for
just think it's
something
funny.
that I have personally been through, yes, and not that I
Let's
want
see.
just that, you know,
You said you wouldn't buy it and go through it again. So see, you
but I
wouldn't.
still won't annotate it. I'm just saying I
That's
can.
what I'm saying. So you
Right?
wouldn't do it, but you want to.
I thought it was funny.
But it's really, really sweet. Like she's trying to make a new friend. Something happened. I don't want to give things away, but something happened with her former friend, and her mom abandoned her when she was 4, and her mom's best friend is raising her. So it's like this whole thing that's happening, and it's just. Although my only complaint is that I don't think 6 weeks after surgery she was swimming in the ocean. Just saying, I could barely get up the stairs. But again, I wasn't 12 years old, so
There you go.
for different folks. What do you
I love that you're loving that book, but it doesn't sound like my kind of middle grade.
No, this would be too tear jerky for Storm. This, way too, yeah.
Too contemporary for Storm.
But I am so glad I just kind of happened upon it at the library. It worked out well.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I finished Myrtle Means an Opportunity a little earlier.
Yeah.
Woo, yay!
So that's the last book in that series. So 2 so far. I've got 2 off of the 4 main books that I had only 1 book left to finish the series. That was my main goal. I was like, I need to get these 4 because they've been dangling there with that last book forever, and it's like, just get them done, It's like, and so now I'm working on another one of them, which also works for Zombie-a-thon because it's Rise of the Ancients by Justin Weinberg, which is the 3rd and final book in the Zombie Season trilogy.
Nice.
Come here.
What was that one called again? Rise of the Ancients?
Yeah. And I think even if you don't read middle grade, but you like zombie books, I think it's a good trilogy. And there's only 3 books, and they're fairly short, and they've got kind of a different take on zombies too. I think a little bit. I mean, I'm not like a professional when it comes to zombies. That's Kat. But I thought it was at least different. I thought. And then if I get that one, I don't think I'll get that one done tonight, but the next book up is called, and I don't know why, but I can never remember the name. Oh, stop that. I got my phone attached to the computer, and it's dinky, 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 dinky every time I move. Let's see. It is called, I think it's called The Many Hauntings of the the Manning family.
Mm.
And it's not on my TBR. See, this is one of those off the TBR things, but I already had it out on Libby, and so
We've already gone rogue, Storm.
Yep, already gone rogue.
Right.
And it's all because one of the books that I finished is by Lauren Lawrence, and whenever I was looking up that book earlier, I saw that she had a new book out. It came out, I think, in March of this year, and that's what that was. I was like, oh, she's got a new book, so bloop. And it went on the TBR anyway, so. Yeah. There we go. I was wondering if it was going to do anything or not. So Pat says, good evening, everyone. I'm not reading tonight. Very long day. Watching Panthers and the Maple Leafs. Happy reading and good night. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up, Pat. And I hope you have a good night. Hope you enjoy watching the hockey game.
Go Leafs.
And Mary Jo said, hi, everyone. Reading the Share Memoir Part 1. Hope to finish it by the end of the week. Cool.
Nice.
And Esther Jane says, hello from a very wet New York.
Oh.
I'm reading my 4th middle grade for middle grade May. Yeah.
Well done.
This is it. Lark Hamish by Laura Best. I don't know that one. And a change up from middle grade mystery. I'm liking it. Cool.
Excellent.
Very nice.
Hello, Catherine. Says hello, everyone. says, hope you are well. I am starting Murder by Cheesecake tonight. So there you go.
Yay! I am in. Let's see, how far am I at? I'm only in chapter 5, so you might catch up with me because I won't be reading much tonight. So I'll be interested to hear what you think. Because I got to do those points. I might listen as I do the points, but I got to do them. Humbobo. Yeah, schedule.
And Cajun says, hi, everyone. I'm reading Pearls in Province. And yay, she's been a member for 3 months.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Hey, can I answer a question for Cajun? She asked me a question. Can I answer it real quick?
Sure.
I misinterpreted what you were asking me earlier, Occasion. She was asking me if for Mystery Mayhem, if you combined books to get to 150, right? So say you had 75. She wanted to say both were new authors. Would she get 6 points instead of 3? And I said yes, thinking that she just meant 2 different prompts. No, because it just counts as one book. So if you have 2 books that are 150 pages, you would only get the new author one time, even if they were both new authors, because it just counts as one. Does that make sense? So it wouldn't count as 6. I misinterpreted what you said. So I just want to make sure I answered that. Thank you, Storm, because I didn't think I'd be able to type it out and make it make sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like funky.
And Hello Sock says, good evening. I'm going to be in and out tonight. We had mac and cheese and green salad today. I'm playing trivia quiz on, is that Sparkle? Is that what that is?
Sporkle.
Sporkle, okay. Rather than reading tonight. Sounds fun.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you are on, I don't know, is it called Roblox or Roblox? It's a little game site. I don't remember. But if you do that kind of gaming or whatever, I think it's like an app you can get on your phone or maybe download on the computer. You can play Zombie Season. It has a game attached to it. So it always says, read the book, play the game. And Cajun says it's the first in the world travel series. Hopefully Melmac doesn't make me hop around to meet the country. And hi, Annie says, hi all, I'm reading Secrets of the Lost Pearls by Darcy Wilde.
Excellent.
Hi, Kat says, happy Monday, friends, reading Nightingale by Kristen Hanna.
Wonderful.
Yay.
That doesn't sound very zombie-ish. I'm just saying.
No.
Well, she rewrote it with zombies. The Nightingale with zombies.
Remember the series that was like Abe Lincoln Vampire Slayer?
Yeah,
Blah,
Pride
blah,
and
blah.
Prejudice and zombies.
Zombie Land.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
And Nadine says, hi, everyone. I just finished Bound for Murder by Victoria Gilbert, number 4 on Blue Ridge series, 4 stars. Now I am not sure what I'll read next. Way too many choices from my pile of possibilities.
Oh, miss.
Nice, Nadine. You need help from your pile of possibilities. We could vote.
Bookish problems right there.
Miss, really?
And Email Mag says, hi, everyone. Reading Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen and Dying Wishes by Molly McRae, the second book in the Haunted Yarn Shop.
Oh, are you liking the Haunted Yarn Shop? I love that series.
And
Also, are you liking Northanger Abbey? That's my favorite. Jane. Oh,
I think that's like the one that I need to read that I haven't ever read.
I love that one.
It's a kitty.
Yeah, and she stinks.
Oh.
The second she comes out of the litter box, love me. I'm like, oh.
And he just says, good evening, everyone. Tonight I am reading Murder in a Cup by Lauren Elliott.
Hello, ma'am.
Oh, and Melmac says, a reminder, next Monday is June's Around the World Readathon announcement.
Yes, ma'am.
And hello, Angela says, hi, everyone. Glad to see you here. So Barbara says, good afternoon, friends. Reading Cheddar Off Dead, eating Taco Burger, and drinking a Diet Coke. Sounds fun.
Yay, that meal sounds delicious.
Hi, Angel says, hi, everyone. I'm reading Murder Can Mess Up Your Masterpiece by Rose Pressey. Number 1 in the Haunted Craft Fair Mysteries, I had a turkey sandwich for dinner.
Yum.
That sounds good.
And
Angel Wolf, have you read the Haunted other series by her? Because I've read the Haunted Vintage and I liked it, but I didn't know if I'd like the Haunted Craft. Have you read the other one and now you're starting this one? Tell me.
And Toya says, hello, everyone, reading The Quiche of Death. And Cajun says, Toya, have you watched the TV show? Because I was like, I'm pretty sure that was Agatha Raisin. So, yeah.
I was gonna say, is that Agatha Raisin?
Yeah. Hi, Jenny says, hi, everyone. I'm new to Storm's channel. Welcome.
Yay!
Welcome.
Oh, we need to give you fireworks for that. Hello.
Do a couple more and then we'll get into a reading sprint. So Emily says, hi, everyone. I'm going to pack up a bingo order and then work on a murder by cheesecake. I think that's our bingo for the night.
There's our bingo for the night.
Emily, where are you at in it?
Cajun says, okay, just wondering, seems like a lot of people like one and not the other. I like them both, but both Agathas are hard to warm up to. Yeah, I've read 2 books in the Agatha Raisin. I feel like they're very different, but at the same time, I think both Agathas are quite hard to take. I get secondhand embarrassment for Agatha all the time because she jumps to conclusions and says everything out loud, and it's like,
Hey, speaking of the Murder by Cheesecake,
Hey!
I'm going to start reading this to my mom real soon.
awesome.
So it
I
seems
might
to be the
treat
book to be
myself.
reading.
Yay!
I trust Tiffany, so I might treat myself when I go to the bookstore on payday.
Do it.
And Kim says, hey, y'all. Just got home from the park. Not sure what I'm going to be reading. I'm going to fix some mac and cheese.
Yum.
Kim, how are you feeling today?
Jesse E says, hello, everyone.
No.
She said, I'm enjoying it and do feel that the characters are spot on, but I feel like the 80s references are just hitting you over the head.
Mm.
And it looks like we have a bingo for Murder by Cheesecake. Yet.
Yep.
And there's your, so you've seen the light.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will go ahead and jump into a reading sprint and read to the top of the hour. And so happy reading, everyone.
And I might have to pop off and then I'll be back on later.
Okay.
Okay.
So how did everybody do?
I got 8 chapters done, but they're short chapters.
Well done. I read about 2.5 chapters, but I was kind of being a little bit lazy.
I didn't get any reading done, but I got a few other things finished.
Excellent.
I am 48% into Rise of the Ancients. Thank you. And so let's see, where are we?
Sorry about that.
How about you? What did you do?
I got some of the points done. I still have a lot to go, but I will get the rest of them done in the next sprint, and then I'll be ready for tomorrow.
There we are. So Catherine says, every year I tell the Bruins fan husband, this is the year for Toronto. I didn't this year, so hopefully it actually is this year.
Thank
I really
you.
hope it is. I don't think it is.
I don't think so either.
But I hope so. That's all I really
And Cajun said Sarah Major's snoring. That hurts now. Out of 1,500 books.
Yeah, out of the 15. Well, I probably should have added another 0 to that in my lifetime.
And Jenny says, hi, everyone. I'll be reading The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie, I don't know, is that Leon,
I think.
For Asian American Pacific Islander
Oh,
Heritage
nice.
Month. So new to this Worms channel, and happy I found you all. And we're really happy you found us too. And hopefully we don't run you off.
We get
Are you enjoying that
for being
book?
new.
Are you
We're
enjoying
happy
that
to
book,
have
Vinny?
you.
Because I have it and I really want to get to it.
Yeah, and even Cajun says my hold on that just came in.
Nice.
And then she says, to be clear, she didn't think she asked that. She wasn't clear when she was asking. But I know she has another thing down here. She said, here, we'll just do it. It says, dang, you started explaining and the phone rang. Can you message me in Discord, please? Or do you just want to do it again? Because you can.
I just want to do it again. I just don't think it'll be clear if I message you.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's
you're
okay.
Here.
Do it again.
But what I was saying was, if you combine 2 books, you only get points for one thing. So if you combine 2 books and they're both new authors for you, you don't get 3 points per author. It would just be 3 points total.
It would be, just pretend like it's a 300-page book. And
smashed together.
Yeah. And then Esther Jane says, speaking of reading challenges, Storm and Lee, you did great for Old School April.
I agree.
Yes,
thank
you did.
I'm laughing.
You guys,
I'm not laughing at Lee. I'm laughing. Never mind.
You guys should legitimately have gotten bonus points just for the amount of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, promotion you did for it in a way. Like, all of your weekly things were geared towards it. It was just like, you know.
Yeah.
I was trying to get extra points for actually living old school for, a couple
Right, no power and, yeah.
That's a little too old school for me.
I was like, I have no power. I have to read by candlelight. I mean, come on.
I know it's not the same thing, but I saw this on Facebook today and it kind of reminded me of that. And now I can't unthink this. They were talking about the Kentucky Derby that ran on the weekend. They said the Kentucky Derby is just NASCAR for the Amish. I'm like, yes.
And Kim says, welcome to Jenny. And hi, Alicia says, hello, everyone. Just joining in, cleaning up dinner, doing kiddos' nighttime routine, and diamond painting.
Nice.
Very productive. Hi, Valerie says, hi, everyone. I'm reading The Nightingale.
Oh, somebody else says it too.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, I think somebody said, is Books and Jam, Krista from Books and Jam, doing a read along with?
She is, and I think it's because the author, I think it's 20 years old or something. Like it's the anniversary of the release of the book. And I think she released a brand new edition with like sprayed edges and the whole kit caboodle.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That seems like that just came out a year ago or two,
Right?
2 or 3 years. I can't believe it's been 20 years.
Yeah, I
think
would
it's
have never
the
guessed it.
anniversary.
Jenny says, "Oh yay, Cajun! I'm excited to start reading." And so Barbara says, "Just bought Murder by Cheesecake. Y'all are bad influences."
Barbara, we can't have a reading sprint without somebody purchasing a book.
Yeah.
And this week it's you.
I'm sorry, it's the 10-year anniversary of the release. It came out in 2015.
Wait, which book?
The Nightingale.
Nightingale.
Thank you.
Well, it still doesn't seem like it was 10 years ago
No.
either.
Mm-mm.
It
And I
doesn't
think
feel
it's
that long
because so
ago.
many people talk about that one a lot
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
that it
Me
doesn't
too.
seem like it's been that long.
Like it was just released or something.
Yeah.
Have you all read it?
Mm-mm.
Mhm.
I haven't either.
It's not
Super read along.
Fantastic.
I have read no Kristen Hanna books ever.
Oh my gosh,
Really?
it's
I
fantastic.
have-
never.
I-
Well, you're not a
I
big historical
started one.
fiction readers.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, I like historical, but I don't like gonna make me cry books or anything. So.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I won't read her books either. Well, I didn't like one of them. I read something about, it was like one that was in the Depression or something.
The Four Winds.
And I read a couple. Yeah, I read a couple chapters.
Phenomenal.
Oh, I loved the Four Winds.
I
Yeah.
DNF'd that one, but I heard that this one that we're talking about, what was
The
it called
Nightingale.
again?
The Nightingale.
Nightingale.
I heard it was. I can't handle that kind of a traumatic story.
Yeah, the
I've heard
Nightingale.
it's pretty sad.
I feel like all of her books are very intense and heavy. Like the women,
Yeah.
I literally
Women
had
was
to read
a
like one
hard
chapter
read.
a day,
Yeah.
and that was it because it was
Yeah.
just so heavy, especially the scenes like when she's in the operate. I was just like, you know, yeah, the Nightingale is fantastic. I didn't like the Winter Garden at all. That's the only book by her I didn't like, and I really didn't like it.
And I enjoyed The Winter Garden.
Yeah, but Firefly Lane is my absolute favorite.
So Jenny says thanks to Kim, and Angel says no, I haven't read the other series by Rosie. Just started this series.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And Emily says chapter 5.
Me too. That's where I was at.
And Catherine says, I love how when you read Murder by Cheesecake, you can just hear their voices exactly and picture it like it's another episode. So cool.
Do you know, I was flipping through that book during the break or during the sprint, and I saw this part where Dorothy was like, "Oh, Ma," and I could just picture her saying that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can tell that the author was not just a fan, but watched the show because there's some references to very specific one-liners in the show that you would have to be a big fan to then be able to incorporate. You know what I mean?
I know that some people were saying, do you have to read or watch the Golden Girls to read it? And people were like, no. But I mean, you're not going to get as much out of it probably if you hadn't watched the show. But you could still read it just like it was a regular cozy. You just wouldn't get all the little nuances or whatever in it and stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder, and maybe you know, Tiffany, or whoever else is reading it, I wonder if, as you're reading it along, if it's all brand new or if she references different episodes ever, or, you know what I mean? Not referencing an episode of the show, but how do I explain it?
No, I know what you mean. Like canon. Is she pulling up stuff that actually happened in the shows?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, most definitely. That's what I mean. So they're Rose's cousin or one of her relatives is getting married, and she's trying to plan the wedding, and she was saying, oh, well, there's a very specific tradition in St. Olaf, and she's like, my cousin Sven, do you remember him? And he was on the show. Remember when? So those sort of things where it's not specific, but you can tell she's a fan to know like these itty bitty details.
The little references are in there. I'm excited about
like
that.
little, that you would have to like have been like not just like casually watched, but a fan, which I love. That's to me is so fun. Like I've really enjoyed that.
And so Kim says, I'm feeling okay, not doing much of anything.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling good.
And then Melmac says to Cajun, glove hopping is inevitable. Where is the next book in the series located? And Nadine says, I decided to read The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. It's supernatural thriller, maybe horror, but definitely not a genre I typically read. It's for the My Novel Life Challenge.
Wow.
Okay, and I feel like you have just participated in Horror Mayhem. That's going on too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was excited to see that Becky had a video.
She did?
Yeah, she did for a Horror Mayhem because that was thing.
Becky, like the Bookish Bryant?
I need to go see that really quickly.
Oh, I have to go watch that.
She
Oh,
did
that's
her first
awesome.
video. She did the announcement video, like a hey, here's where I've been, and then she did her first one for the Horror Mayhem. Yeah.
Oh. Then I can say I participated because I watched somebody's video and listened to him talk about Horror Mayhem because that's about as close as I'm ever going to get.
You and me both, Tiffany.
I feel like that means I participated.
Yeah.
But I would love to see Becky. That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
She said she's trying to get her groove, like with her, how to do the content because it's always been her and Scott, and now it's just her, and so
this was a nice way for her to come back to. I think, like, you know, she has like a lot of people backing her and co-host on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
And Pat says, are there any books for middle grade may like Aggie Morton, Queen of Mysteries? I've read all of them. Well, I think if you like that and you haven't read the Myrtle Hardcastle series by Elizabeth C. Bunce, that you would probably like that one. There's 5 books in that series, and it's a finished series, so you could just binge right on through them or whatever. And I don't know if anybody else has a recommendation for if you liked Aggie Morton.
I feel like that one's like not specific, but because it's not just a middle grade mystery, but also like the historical aspect, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this because I've never read it, but I always think of Enola Holmes. Isn't that along the same line?
Oh yeah, that would also work. Okay. Yeah, Enola Holmes. I don't remember who is the author of that though. But
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
offhand.
Because that's like Sherlock Holmes' little kid sister.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I always forget about that because I've only read one book in that series.
I believe it's Nancy Springer.
Oh yeah, Nancy Springer. And so, Tiffany, so far, I like the Haunted Yarn Shop, but I'm not real fond of the ghost. Maybe
Geneva, I can't think of her name. It's something like that.
I think it's Geneva.
What is it?
I think it's Geneva or something like
that. I thought it was Geneva. She's very Eeyore-like. She's like, but, you know, she doesn't know, like, her story. She does, not only does she not know what happened to her, she really doesn't know, like, about herself. That would be terrible to live in an eternity and not like know anything about yourself.
I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah, but she is very like, woe is me.
Mm-hmm. And Tammy, so far I like Northanger Abbey, but it's early yet. I'm only on page 40. And this is a short book though, so. And Nadine says dinner equals bean tostadas.
Very nice.
Hi, Amy. Mother Goose says, hi, I'm reading a Bibliotherapy by Molly Masters for my nonfiction, and I'm picking a new fiction to start. Earlier in finished Must Love Flowers by Debbie Maycomer. It was delightful.
We shall celebrate for finishing.
Hello, Lost Coffee Mug says, hi, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good night and Monday. Joining late, but great to be here. Well, I'm happy you got here. And Ugg just got off the phone. And Cajun says, Melmac glove hopping is fine. I just don't want to hop around in the series. And then Cajun says, I'm not telling the next because if that should be your next country, you might just change it to make me read it.
That does sound like Melmac.
Right?
And then Carmen says, "Rats, I'm late to the party. Hi everyone, just finished I Am Legend for the Masterminds, and think I'll look for something less creepy to read."
Yes, Carmen, yes. Oh, not for the, well, yeah, I'm happy the less creepy, but yes for the masterminds.
And then Lost Coffee Mug says, "You're not late." Because I also joined late. Yes, and nobody is ever late.
Mm-mm.
And Valerie says, "Just joining the Kill Time with Cozy's Discord. Not too tech savvy. Hopefully I did it right. Oh, you'll
Listen,
be
I'm still
good,
learning.
like, yeah, I mean, it's a learning curve. Ask questions if you need to. And you'll just be like Tiffany, because she doesn't know how to do it. She's not tech savvy either. So.
Yeah.
I'm
She
not
hangs
either.
out in the general section. She barely gets out of the general.
Yeah.
You have to
So,
tag her to get her to go somewhere else.
so if you ever want me to see something, put at me, because then it'll notify me, and then I'm like, oh, Tammy sent me a message. Because otherwise, no idea. And people will be like, oh, you never, and I'm like,
That's how I am. I know where the messages are. I know where the general is.
Yeah.
And I know where Melmac's
exactly,
challenge is.
Tammy. That's all we need to know. Tammy and I we're sisters in Discord. Valerie, join us.
And Cajun says, "I see you in there, Valerie." And hi everyone, said Melissa. And Nadine says, "Amy, I loved Must Love Flowers by Debbie. It was absolute perfect book at the right time for me, so it made it extra good." Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
And hello, Emily, lost in the library. Hi everyone, happy Monday. Up to 58% of The Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, and really enjoying it. Awesome.
Nice.
And Valerie says, "Great. Thank you, Cajun." So at least she knows she's in there.
Yep.
And Kim says, "I love this time of year weather-wise, and I hate it. Turn the fan on and I'm cold. Turn the fan off and I'm hot." Yeah.
Well, I just put on a sweater and now I'm sweating.
Yeah, I have that problem. Like, our nights have been kind of chilly. And I'm like, it's kind of cold, so I put my blankets on. But I'm like, now I'm hot. I have to take the blanket off. And it's like, I'm cold. I'm hot. I'm cold.
Right?
I made ice cube treats for Kairu where you freeze, like I froze green beans and some, and carrots and some, and strawberries and some, which he loves all three of those. The dude is so lazy, he sat there and just let it all melt and then just ate the thing. Like, the whole idea is that, like, he hasn't, an activity. Nah, he literally came and laid back down. He tried for about 30 seconds, turned around and looked at me like, "Are you kidding?" And then left, went over to the couch, and then once he knew that they were melted, came back over and ate the stuff.
That's funny.
That is hilarious.
That is, I've never,
That sounds like something my dog would probably do.
My dog would just swallow them all whole frozen.
exactly. That, Tammy, that's how I feel like most dogs are. Or like my previous dog, even if he didn't swallow them whole, he would have sat there and licked and licked and licked until he got it. Like, and had fun with it. Kairu was like, "Nah, dude, that's too much for me.
I'm not having any of this.
Nah."
Right.
And Lost Coffee Mug says she's 29% into How to Win Back a Royal by Justine Lewis.
Hope you're enjoying.
And Pat says, "I got a COVID test today. I have not had one done in over a year. Are medical staff still performing this test?" I don't know.
I
Yes.
have no idea. I
Yeah,
assume
if you're in
so.
hospital, they are. I can tell you that for a fact.
And Mary Jo is 282 of 411. Getting there. Melissa says to Pat, "Depends on the situation." So, yeah. Angel says, "I just finished Murder Can Mess Up Your Masterpiece by Rose Presley. I loved it. I will probably read her other series too."
I really enjoyed her Haunted Vintage series. It's really fun. The main character's name is Coco Chanel. I mean, it's just really light. Yeah, it's really fun.
I read 2 series by her. One I really enjoyed. The other one I was annoyed with the main character.
Which one did you? Which
I did not like Halloween Laveau.
I think I've read maybe the first book.
I didn't know that was a series.
Yeah, she just got really dumb by book 4. I just was annoyed of her. And that's when I started early on reading like that type of series. And the other one I read that I liked was LaRue Donovan. That was pretty good.
Oh, okay.
And Amy says, my fiction pick is The Library of Lost Dollhouses, a bookish historical mystery.
Ooh.
Excellent.
Read a chapter, and Catherine made it to the start of chapter 5 of Murder by Cheesecake, and she's really loving it so far.
Yay!
And Pat says, I'm going to say goodnight. We have severe storms with gusty winds. Just lost our cable. Oh no, stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Just stay safe.
I hope it all. Stay safe.
You know, those storms are naughty this year, I tell you.
Mhm.
They have been.
And Amy says to Nadine, it's perfect for me too. I love Debbie books.
Oh, me too.
Stay safe. And Anna Bob says, I'm looking forward to Murder by Cheesecake. Bob is reading The Shimmering Sands by Victoria Holt. Good read.
If you don't know, this and Bob is my mom and dad.
Like they're like our adopted parents.
Right?
Like,
I just wanted to see Tammy's
Makes you all
reaction.
my
Tammy's
sisters.
parents.
I love it. I'll take
Tammy,
it.
do
I've
you
always wanted a
know
sister.
if it's like when they come on, is it mostly just like usually your mom or just your dad, or are they on together?
They're on together.
Okay.
We're probably laying on the bed, watching and reading, and
Hi,
love
Anna
it.
Bob.
I love it. I love it.
Jesse says, what is considered middle grade books? And I think it varies really, because I consider like, I don't know, like 8 years old to like even 13 or whatever is, because some of the characters, it depends. The books, you can have like a really young teenager, but it still feels very middle grade in how it is portrayed. And everything. So
well, even Nancy Drew is middle grade.
I was gonna say, a lot of people say Nancy Drew is middle grade.
Yeah. And I also think it's what reading level you're at, because if you are a middle grader and you read a little bit older, you'd almost be bordering into the YA-ish section, but you yourself are of the middle grade age.
I think that's why, like, whenever it comes to like middle grade May and stuff like that, I'm very relaxed. Like, it could be children's books, and then you could read some that are kind of maybe considered young adult, but they still feel very middle grade.
Yes.
And that's fine too. So.
I think it was hard for me to wrap my mind around it. I don't know how old Jessie is, because I feel like when we were younger, there was no such thing as middle grade. There was like the Babysitters Club and Sweet Valley High.
Correct.
And then after that, you were reading like Flowers in the Attic. You know, like,
yeah, there was no gray area.
There was no.
You were reading Christie's Great Idea or Flowers in the Attic.
You were reading both. You were reading both. Yeah.
You know, and so I feel like, you know, so then it was hard to me to wrap around my idea that there's a whole genre of middle grade, because we didn't have it. We just didn't. We didn't have YA either. That really wasn't a thing. Maybe R.L. Stein, and then after that, again, you were.
And then, to be fair, like, to kind of like not to get into the discussion of, it's really up to the parents. If you're, as a parent, allow your kid to read whatever, then guess what? They can read whatever.
Well, that's the problem with our generation. Our parents were not censoring what we were reading, so we were reading Christie's Great Idea and Flowers in the Attic.
We are.
Yes, that's exactly.
Well, like my mom leaving, you know, Pet Cemetery laying around. Well, Stormy, who likes to read at age 12, is like, well, what's this?
Right. I'm 11 years old reading Helter Skelter on vacation, and my mom's like, put the book down. You're embarrassing and frightening other people.
Well, you know, and my parents were super strict, like, but they just inferred that if it was in the school library, it was okay. So, you know, like, we were only PBS kids, like they were, you know, but they were like, oh, it's at the school library, it's fine. So I'm sitting there like, oh, you know,
it's like, if you only knew,
yeah, exactly. Like,
well, that is
Reading
You know,
was
you'd
so
read
highly
whatever
encouraged.
you were reading at home, but
Yeah.
you never knew what people were reading in school.
True.
I
Because those
was
could stay in your desk or in your locker.
Yep, true.
I was always encouraged to read whatever the hell I wanted to, because as long as I was reading, that's all that mattered.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
you know.
My
Well,
mom
right.
and dad kept me pretty stocked in books.
Yep.
So I was
Same.
pretty
My
lucky.
parents want me to read, but their Catholic gene runs too deep for
That's
for
fair.
anything. Let's just say.
I want to go to Kat's house because lobster ravioli and green beans sounds really yummy.
Oh.
Oh,
She said
Lobster
she
ravioli
didn't
sounds
read that
delicious.
spring because she had to take the dog out and then she ate her dinner, and that just sounded really, really yummy.
I only had tacos. Lobster ravioli sounds delicious.
Yeah,
does.
I had oatmeal. Oh, that sounds really good.
I
do
had
like oatmeal, though.
I had Rice Krispies, so you and I are in the same boat, girl.
Thank you.
me and Lee probably haven't eaten dinner because it's not dinner time where we are.
Yeah.
So it's always fun to get inspiration.
True.
We had a dupe on like the KFC bowl, so I made mashed potatoes, and then we
Okay.
put like
I've done that
chicken
before,
tenders
yeah.
on top, and brown gravy and corn.
I've done that before.
That's
Yeah,
good too.
yeah.
Those are good.
And Angela got to 7 chapters read in Cheddar Off Dead by Karina Moss.
Nice.
And Cheddar Off Dead starting so good. Thanks for the suggestion. New series. Yay. I know. I read a new book like I need a new book like I need a hole in my head. Hey, that's okay.
You do need one.
And then Cajun says, okay, that makes sense. But if one has an animal and one not, can I get 2 points for that? Because the one has an animal in it.
Yes. You
They
just
both-
can't get double. You just couldn't get 4 because both books have an animal. If that makes sense.
Clear as mud, right, Cajun?
And Mary Jo says, yay, storm points for living old school. Maybe you can add it next year.
You should have got a trophy for that.
Yeah.
Spend
Seriously.
24 hours without electricity.
Yeah. I wonder how many people would try for that prompt.
For every 24 hours you spend without electricity, you get 20 bonus points or something.
There you go. There's a good curveball that they could throw at us.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go ahead and read to the top of the hour. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
I gotta work on points again, just so you know. I'm sorry.
Enjoy.
If I don't, I'll
That's
be
fine.
behind.
It's fine. Happy reading, everyone.
Happy reading, everyone.
So how did everybody do?
I did good. I have 16 minutes left in my book.
Ooh, so close. I did good. I have 2 more entries as of right this second. But I was almost finished about 4 times as I was doing it, and then more people would enter. So I don't know. I have 2 more entries, and I got to chapter 11 in the Murder by Cheesecake. So
Wonderful.
And Tammy, there's I was saying there's been even more references. Like Rose said something like, "Oh, I really want to do this wedding. It would make up for Butter Queen." And like there was the episode where when they were all in jail.
Yes.
Haven't I suffered enough?
Enough.
And so like you would really have to be a fan, not just so I think that's really fun. I really Kairos. Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I read another chapter in my book, and I think I'm ready for the day, to be fair.
Nice. Come here.
So I watched some YouTube when I was done.
Cool.
Excellent.
I didn't do any reading, but am I the only one that does this? I'm probably the only one that does this. I'm kind of weird. But when I read a book, I want my bookmarker to match.
Yes.
Either
You're not.
something on the cover the same, or the same color, or same vibes. Okay. Yeah, I sat and matched up bookmarkers to my TBR for the moment.
Mine's not like that. Mine's more seasonal. Like I have a lot of bookmarks from like certain that are like summer themed or Christmas themed. So if it's that, I have to, and I have separate jars that I keep the separate bookmarks in depending on the season. Yeah.
Just to give everybody an update, the Leafs are up 3-1.
I know.
It's the first intermission. That clearly doesn't mean anything, as we've seen last night.
No, I mean we're known to
until the ballet scene ain't over. Trust me.
There's still 6 more games to.
Yeah. Oh well, yes. I mean,
right, but that's what I mean. Like the choke will happen at some point.
So I clearly am not a bookmark person because I don't do that. But also, I'm one of those that's like, oh, here's a little piece of paper.
I was gonna say,
in my, I need a bookmark. I can't find a bookmark. Oh, look, paper.
I would have guessed that about you. I feel like that, like you be the person that would just like use a leaf off the ground and like, oh, there you go.
My father always used his pass for the train.
There you go.
Yeah, always used his pass for the train.
If I get a book from the library, I usually use the little paper that they give me that tells me when it's due back.
Yeah.
I like to fold it in half, and that's
there you go. That works too.
I've lost a lot of bookmarkers along the way because when I read a book and I open it up, and the first thing I do is move the bookmarker out of the way, so I stuff it somewhere. Well, when I'm getting towards the end, I put it more up at the front. And then I don't keep a lot of my books that I read because I don't have enough room to keep everything. So I'll donate them, and I'll have a stack of books, and I'll go donate them, and there goes the bookmarkers because I forgot to take them back out.
So somebody's getting a real nice bookmark with their new book.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, several people have given me like bookmarks and everything, and I was like, oh, these are so cute, look at these. And then they'll be sitting, and then I'll be over there, and I'm like, I don't have a bookmark, but I don't want to get up and come over here and get one. So it only says that it's Lindsay's little library and Sarah's nightstand that's doing the Nightingale read along. Clearly they are friends with Krista, so I was getting there somewhere.
Yeah, it's like the 3 of them. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking the 3 of them.
It's like the 6 degree of separation always.
Right? Exactly.
And Cajun says, Barbara, it's a good influence to get books.
It's not a reading sprint unless someone's bought a book.
That's what exactly.
Yeah, and then Valerie says, Lindy's little library and Sarah's nightstand are doing read along for the 10th anniversary. This is my first Kristen Hannah.
You're starting with a good one from the sounds of it.
Yeah. And Melmac says to Cajun, I looked it up. It's England. I could probably risk this tiny spoiler. June is not England.
Wah, wah, wah.
And they're asked the question again. I think we answered that, hopefully. And Valerie said on chapter 15, it's so good so far. And Cajun says, Melmac, was that before you looked? Of course, England is a country I have no problems with. I've read more books set in UK this year than the US.
There you go.
And Emily says, Rose's cousin, but there is an age gap, so it's like Rose was her aunt more than a cousin.
Okay.
And Melmac says to Cajun, maybe you'll never know.
I'm picturing Melmac frantically redoing like all of the graphics and everything.
Changing everything around. She's like,
Just to spite Cajun.
right? She's like evil laughing the entire time.
She's like, now England is going to be next year. Race.
Right.
Scratching it out.
And then Emily said to Jesse that it's ages 9 to 12 kind of age
That's
range.
the general definition, I think.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Mhm.
And Cajun says to Melmac, may have to start a new series depending on what the country is. You know how I hate starting a new series.
I detected a small note of sarcasm there, Cajun.
Mhm.
And Cajun says the Macy Hitchens series is similar to Aggie. My library has the whole series on Kindle and audio, so maybe yours does. And Melmac says, yes, her name is Geneva. She's really like you or sad from inside out.
Hi, guys.
He
Yeah.
is like that.
And Esther Jane says, I read Four Winds during COVID while people were fighting for toilet paper.
It's a great comparison when you're reading it during something. Yeah, you're right.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I have real quick, Sarah, and then Lisa from the Lost Coffee Mug. We were talking earlier about something. If you could join the Mystery and Mayhem Discord, then that'll help, because I think that there's some messages that I was trying to send you that can't get to you because you're not
Okay,
in
fair.
that Discord. If
Thank
you're
you.
interested.
Thank you.
And Melmac says, occasionally, I'm curious to see what people find to read for a book set in this country. Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he says, oh no, I hope you have some Rex if we need them.
Right?
I'm
My
getting kind of
problem-
nervous.
My problem with her prompts are that they're the kind of prompts that you have to pay attention when you're reading.
Yes.
Like, did somebody take an elevator? Did somebody do? And I'm like, I don't remember.
Well, I was so mad because I just read book 2 in the series, but in book 1, an elevator was prominent in the story. I'm like, of course it was, not in this one.
Well, it's like the one where there was somebody ran up or down the stairs. I specifically read this book because I read like the first chapter, and she literally had to run down like a flight of stairs to answer that. I'm like, I need to make sure I fit this in this month because somebody ran. And Angela said good night to Pat and stay safe. And Cajun says, Sammy, I did message you on Discord. And Melmac says, me changing June to Belize because that's the last book in the World Traveler series. Now, Melmac.
I told ya.
And so,
That sounds like Melmac.
Esther Jane says, I think why I DNF'd Murder by Cheesecake is I watched the show a lot, and some of the fun was facial expressions.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's probably hard to kind of picture that when you're reading it. It doesn't kind of go off the same, maybe. Valerie says, "Sounds good. Thanks for the tips." And Cajun says, "Melmac, I just laughed so hard I scared the cat's ashes." Mary Jo says, "Same. The air comes on and I'm cold. I go outside and I'm hot." It's like right now the air. I have the air on. It's getting slightly chilly in here. I'll be turning it off probably after we get done here. And hi, Breezy says hello. Just settling in with a bowl of potato soup. I finished Murder by Cheesecake today. Didn't love it, but the references were fun. Back to National Velvet tonight.
Nice.
Gotcha. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, we finished a book.
Yes, and Tiffany.
It's getting late. It's getting past my bedtime.
Yeah, Kairu is a smart boy. Although come summer, he may enjoy the ice more.
Cajun, I'm glad that you have faith in him, but he's
Probably not. Yeah.
He'll wait for it to melt though. It'll just melt faster.
No. And Emily says, "Yes, I'm a teacher with asthma. If I have anything near COVID symptoms, they will test." And Nadine says, "Tammy, when you read Murder by Cheesecake, when you read Murder by Cheesecake to Mom, will you be doing voices?"
I don't know.
Ooh.
Yes, like, do you have your Rose and the voices? Do you have
Right?
Emily says the reading level for Twilight is 4th grade. Should fourth graders read that? No.
Nope.
No one should ever read that book. Period.
That's true.
I read the first one. I remember reading the first one, and I was like, "Ugh." I got through it. I'm okay, fine. I got through the first one, and I'm not gonna read anymore. But then this one lady where I was working, she's like, "But I'm reading them, and I need somebody to talk to, and you're the only book reader. Can't you read the other ones too?" And I'm like, "I don't want to read the other ones," but I read the other ones because she wanted somebody to talk to.
You were influenced.
And really, I like the 3rd and the 4th one out of all of them the best. 1 and 2 I didn't like that well. Cajun says, "I'm glad Storm is relaxed about middle grade because for Halloween I lean more towards the picture book area." Yeah, there you go.
I think it's more just the point of like reading like stuff that's not just adult books, but to explore books that are meant for kids or for younger people.
Yeah.
And enjoy those as well, even though we're a little bit older. Not by much, but a little bit older.
Yeah, and middle grade isn't a genre, but I think a lot of people consider it kind of a genre.
Yeah, and it was the same when new adult was a big thing. The new adult is not a genre; it's an age group.
Yeah.
So I totally get what you're saying, Emily.
Yeah.
And I read Gone with the Wind in 8th grade.
Yeah. See.
And I had chicken nuggets and tater tots.
That is
good.
fantastic.
And you just broke out Cajun with mixing all your food together, Tiffany.
Cajun,
No. You don't put everything in one bowl.
you and I would be perfect together. We need plates that have the separate compartments. That would make me happy.
Oh, those KFC bowls are so good, though.
Yeah.
I know.
I love them. Just get a spoon right down and scoop it up and have a little bit of everything.
That's basically how my grandfather ate Thanksgiving dinner. It was like the potatoes and then everything went on top of it.
And I like bowl type meals that are like, little sections of each that all go together and like the Buddha bowl or the pokey.
What's
or
up, handsome man?
Yeah.
What's up, handsome man?
And like when we have mashed potatoes with something, we automatically have corn because corn goes in the mashed potatoes.
I'm with you.
And Cajun says, "Thanks. Yes, that made sense. I thought that, but I wanted to make sure that she got it right."
You got it.
And Nadine says to Emily, "I think people say middle grade is a genre is because Goodreads list it in their genre categories. It would be better if they was separate listing for reading levels."
Are you saying hi to the people, Presley?
Hi, Christina. Hi, Stormy, Lee, and Tiffany, Tammy, and Sarah. Hope everyone is well.
Oh.
Still feeling indisposed today, but we'll show some love. Well, I'm glad you could make it at least.
I hope you feel better.
Remember to hydrate, snack, tell Coda what it was. Check laundry, take meds, stretch, show some love to the like button, and make sure you sub and ring that bell so you'll know when you get notified. Jill, how you doing? It says, hi, ladies, joining late.
You're never late.
No reading done, just scrolling. Yeah, that happens. I did a boo-boo on the thing. I had exported my video for tonight so that I could upload it when we get done with this. And then I went to put it on my computer, and for some reason I thought it was a different one, and I deleted it. So I had to export it all over again.
Oh no!
At least it's not deleted, but I had to export it over again. And so then I couldn't listen to my audiobook because I was exporting.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
that
it's
was
got
a
it-
pain.
yeah, that's frustrating.
So I was like, And Angel says started another book, The Rancher's Love Song by McKenna Lee, and took the dogs outside. I only got to chapter 2.
Hope you enjoy it.
Only got to 36%. And How to Win Back a Royal. They are very long chapters, 30-some pages.
Ooh.
I hate long chapters.
36%'s great.
Yeah. And Mary Jo is at 297 of 411.
Nice.
Michelle Dean said
Ooh.
currently at 89%, and Linda Castillo's After the Storm. It is so good.
Yeah.
You were close.
I love that series. And Kat
Fantastic.
says read 15 pages in The Nightingale. That's awesome.
You're beautiful.
And you got 17%. And Carmen says I started getting old as murder.
By Rita Lakin? That's one of my favorite series. Nobody ever reads the Getting Old series. Oh, she's gonna be like, no, not Rita Lakin. It's a different book.
I think she's in the Mystery and Mayhem, so she's probably doing it for a host direct or something. I think she's doing Mystery and Mayhem though. I think.
Oh, I love that series so much. It's so underrated.
Cajun got to 28%, and Lost Coffee Mud said, Tammy, you're not weird. When I make notes for an arc I'm reading, I use the pen color to match something on the cover.
Makes sense.
That is awesome.
And Sock
I'm
says,
just glad to know there's other weird people out there.
yes, the matching bookmarks. I get point color strips from Benjamin Moore and match the color.
Oh, I love
That's a
that.
good idea.
Paint color strips. Wow. Okay.
That's a fantastic
I like
idea.
that.
And Jill says, reading more of Flashpoint by Catherine Coulter, getting close to the end. 66 pages left. Awesome.
Thanks.
My
And
dad
then
loved Catherine Coulter.
Annie does seasonal bookmarks. You know, I said I thought I had some Kathleen. I looked her up. I have a couple of books in like a historical kind of romancy book called The
Yeah, he
Sherwood.
doesn't like those ones. He likes there's like an FBI series or something, and there's a married couple.
FBI series, and I'm like, clearly I just got the wrong ones because I got the the FBI one looks like pretty cool. And it looks like a really long series too, I think.
Oh, by Catherine Coulter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Presley, can you not knock over the computer, dude?
Romax says I usually don't use a bookmark, even though I have a lot of them. And Kim says I brought several packs of magnetic bookmarks.
Aye.
And Cajun says I like seasonal and bookish or caddish bookmarks, but I just read digital, but I like having them.
Right?
Kat says that Valerie
Well, I gotta jump in here and say real quick. I am on a bookmark roll. I'm having so much fun. I'm doing some diamond dots bookmarkers, and I'm doing some counted cross stitch bookmarkers. So any of you that wants a bookmarker, my email is in my description box on my videos, and you let me know. Send me an email. Tell me what you like and what colors you like, and I'll make you a bookmarker and send it to you.
That's sweet.
Well, that is delightful.
Serious, and I'm being serious. Anybody here and anybody in the comments, just let me know.
So sweet.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It's your avocado one was so adorable whenever you were
I
showing
love
Oh,
it.
I know. That was cute. I liked that one.
I love the idea of the diamond painting ones. That's so cool.
Yeah, well, message me because I've got my email down there, or message me in Discord if you're on Discord.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
And
'cause otherwise I'm gonna have like 400
7,000 of them?
bookmarkers.
Well, then
And-
you'll always have one to match your books.
Right?
That's cool. I pulled one out for the Murder by Cheesecake, and up in the corners there's little flamingos, and so I put one of my little flamingo bookmarkers
That's
in
so
it.
cute.
I love it.
Perfect.
So, and I'm being serious. Send me a message because I really will, even if I don't know you.
Oh, Pressy.
Amy says, as a librarian, I saw bookmarks, many unusual items being used as bookmarks, stickers, string cheese wrappers, clean tissues, and the list goes on.
I believe it.
I believe that.
I remember in a
That it
youth
was a
book.
clean tissue.
Yeah. I remember in a youth book in a thrift store one time, I found somebody's sonogram picture. I'm like, did you put it in there to store it, or did you use it as the bookmark? Like, I had so many questions.
That's
And
funny.
Kat likes to coordinate her book with bookmarks. So, see, you are not alone.
Oh, okay. I'm feeling good about this.
Yeah.
And Doc says, did they write an elevator in the book, or did Love in an Elevator by Aerosmith come on the radio while I was reading?
Don't scratch, please.
And Nadine says, I try and match books with bookmarks, but I'm not good at it. And is that a cat? I think that
Laughing, crying. Yeah.
Yeah.
laughing. Yeah. And Kim says, I try to check the prompts as soon as I finish a book.
Yeah.
But I'm not good at remembering little bits and pieces in the books. I think that's my problem. Because y'all probably know this already. Because when I try to tell you what the book is about, it's like, well,
I saw a meme for you the other day, Storm, and it's like, do I read tons of books? Yes. Do I forget the plot immediately as soon as I finish them? Yes.
There you go.
do I forget the first half of the book by the time I got to the bottom half of the book?
Yeah. But you're enjoying yourself, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Very true.
And Mary Jo says, eating chocolate chip ice cream. Yum.
Ooh.
And Nomac says to Breezy Ann, I haven't read National Velvet, but I like the movie a lot. And Tiffany, you got a pumpkin and a snoozy face and snoozy
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's getting there, believe me.
Cajun says, I got lucky with the elevator prompt. I knew one of the characters had moved to a penthouse in the last book, and they talked about the elevator being for residents only. There you go.
There you go.
And Kim says, I'm with Sarah on Twilight. Nomac says, I read Twilight, saw all the movies, liked most of the movies, have had the other books for years and years, but haven't read them yet.
I shouldn't knock Twilight, to be honest, because it got a lot of people reading that were not reading before. Same as 50 Shades, same as Harry Potter.
Oh, absolutely.
My youngest daughter is not a reader very much at all. She's lucky if she gets a couple books a year, which is fine. But she did read all the Twilight books. So
Nice.
yeah,
Hi,
I
Amber.
agree.
And Cajun says, my stepmother gave me divided plates a couple of years ago. And I loved them.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
one.
were in Walmart one time and they had them, but they had like Sesame Street characters on them. And he goes, "Look, I'm gonna buy these for you." And I'm
Cajun.
Oh.
She's like, ooh, no corn on mashed potatoes. Y'all keep it up and I won't eat for days.
So good. Oh,
Yeah, and Margaret Sock says, KFC's famous bowls got me through grad school. My ritual was to start eating one as I started a major paper, 10 or more pages.
brilliant.
Hi, Elizabeth. Howdy.
Hello, Elizabeth.
And Mary Jo says, yeah, but it doesn't matter if your food is all together. It all goes down the same pipe anyway. I love KFC bowls. And Cajun says, hi, Presley, pretty man.
You hear that? You're being said hello to, sir.
He is very cute.
Yes.
Cajun says to Mary Jo, not if you can't get it down because it's all gross.
Exactly.
And Ambi says, so loved Twilight back in the day in the movies too. Now I can't even watch the movies at all, but I will say the best book is the last one, Breaking Dawn. I like that one.
It was 3-1. No,
Hi,
it's 4-2.
Elizabeth. And I love the Getting Old series, Kim.
Yay!
Cajun, Tiffany, have you read the last Gladdy Gold book?
I just looked and I haven't because I didn't know she had another one come out. So I haven't read the number 9, which is the haunted something. Getting old will haunt you.
See, yes, for your recommendation pick, Tiffany. Loving it so far. And Lizzie Faye says, almost done with my 8th book, so I am a little behind my goal.
8th book for May?
Yeah,
For today.
have you seen her TBR? It's like 60
It's
books.
crazy.
Elizabeth, we love you.
Elizabeth, that's insane.
I
That's
am
amazing.
on par with a book a day right at this moment, whether
That's
it's
amazing.
used that way or not. I don't know, but I have read 5 books.
I've only read 2 so far.
Who's awesome.
Same.
I mean, it's only the 5th. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I have so many. Fox says I have so many Catherine Coulter historical romances, so many cousins, Marianne, so many cousins. Yeah.
Accurate for the time period, though.
Yep. And Amy says mashed potatoes and corn is such a classic combo. Yeah, especially with some kind of chicken. Yep, that's usually how we do it.
Absolutely.
And Jill says Flashpoint is number 1 of the FBI series. The couple is Savage and Sherlock. Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that because I think I would like that series.
I think you would too.
And Elizabeth says hi to Ambi. And Lost Coffee Mug says, Tammy, you're so sweet.
That is really nice.
And Ambi says, love Christian Hannah. She's one of my favorite authors. And Sock says, what a cool offer. And Ambi says, but I haven't read The Nightingale yet. And then Barbara says, I'll barter with you. Send me a barter. I will send you a poster caught in Granny Square.
Okay, hang on. I gotta take my glasses off so I can read the comment.
Sarah got attacked. That was hilarious.
Oh,
Sounds good to me. We'll do a little trade.
Cats, I missed that because I was reading.
Yeah, that cat can spray, man. I just had to clean snot off of me, okay?
Wow.
If that makes you feel like, can you not rub against my computer? You nasty thing.
it was the reaction, not that it happened. It was Sarah's
I know.
reaction to it. I'm sorry, Sarah, but it was just...
And the funny thing is that you know he's gonna do it because just like human, like you'll like that, right? And Garrett will be sitting here and goes, he's about to blow.
Poor little cat.
I know, my poor buddy.
And Ambi says, just finished dinner like 40 to 45 minutes ago. I did hamburger patties and put ring of onions in them in a casserole dish and top it with Campbell's cream and mushroom soup and make rice. I've heard of that. I think I've seen
That sounds
people.
good.
That almost
I'm
sounds
going
like
to take
a-
it that Cajun cannot do one dish dinners.
So yeah, no, that's my question, Cajun, because I want to know if we are the same in that aspect. Like I would do a chicken and rice, like a casserole, but I don't know. It's just the way my brain works. But if we're having chicken and I have to have them separately on the plate, but if it's meant to be, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, like if it's a one pot thing or a one dish thing, you're okay with it. But other than that, you have to have everything separated. Inquiring minds want to know, Cajun.
Seriously, no, I'm honestly curious because I'm very similar to you in that aspect.
And Melmac says, I need to pay attention to the books I'm reading this month to see if there's an elevator ride because, as Storm said, that's something one may not necessarily be paying attention to or thinking of. Yeah, I was like, yeah. I have to go in there and reference every now and then, just refresh my mind. What are the prompts? What are the prompts in case I run into something?
She's going to write them on a piece of paper and stick them in every book that she.
Jill says, I read Twilight a long time ago. I haven't read any more in that series. I have read all the Harry Potter series and seen all the Harry Potter movies. And Ambi says, we eat rice down and then the patty with the onions and the gravy on top.
I was going to say, it almost sounds kind of like a meatloaf, but not making a meatloaf in a way. Like the components are there, but
maybe kind of.
Yeah, I like her like where you like put the rice down and like with the liquids and then put the patties in it and the onions and do all that and they bake it that way and like the juices cooks the rice and all that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
And Flashpoint is the latest FBI book. Mary Jo says it's now 4-1 Toronto, Tiffany.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm watching it on my phone.
And Michelle Dean says, Lizzie is life goals. I want to read all the books.
Right, Michelle? That's
Right?
amazing.
Yeah. She says 5 of the books are Caldecott winners, and 2 of those didn't even have words. So that's how it's possible. Yeah, I know. Because when I was like, you're reading with your daughter too, and they're like the little short like books. And
that's delightful.
That's still a lot of books.
because she's trying to do a book a day with her, and then her own book a day. So she's got like.
Good Lord, woman.
But she also stays very consistent and intentional.
Oh, Elizabeth
all
is
the
a list
time.
checker
Yes.
for
For sure.
Yeah,
for
she's
sure.
a
I appreciate it.
kind of person. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
And since it's not, it's quicker than the eye.
Legitimately, and this cat can get distance. I'm not kidding. It's disgusting.
And Jill says there's an elevator ride in Flashpoint.
Hey, there you go.
And Lou said, Mary Jo, I'm reading a children's book each day with my daughter, yeah, and then other book a day for myself. So the minimum goal is 62, yeah. Yeah, I watched both of her part. She had a part 1 and a part 2 of her May TBR. You know it's going to be big when you have to have.
When you do a part 1 and a part 2, yeah. Brilliant.
And Cajun says, I can do casserole, yes, but different foods is not meant to touch or be plopped together.
Okay, so we are very similar. Very good, Cajun.
So, yeah. And Moax says, I've only finished 1 book so far this month, and I'm pretty sure there was no elevator in it.
1 book is amazing.
So far, anyone who crafts, I'm hosting a craftathon that started on the 1st and last the whole month. Making in May 25. It's for all crafts, and there are 4 prompts. Cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
And then Momax says the washes cleans prompt is like that too. I have to pay attention as I read. Yeah, that's why I was like, did somebody wash their clothes? I don't remember. I mean, that's like, it's like, or did they wash their hands? I don't know.
Okay, that's funny.
And Sock says, in the words of The Offspring, you got to keep them separate.
Now I have that song
I'm
in my
going
head.
to have that song in my head
Automatically, like,
all night.
Mhm.
And so we are at the end of the comments. And I know that some people are about to turn into pumpkins.
Tiffany?
quit it.
I'm not saying any names, but she's currently at the hockey arena.
We all listed what we had coming up, so
Yeah.
we don't really have to do that again.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
So
Except
Wait.
for Lee.
I have tomorrow I have my most anticipated May reads coming out on May 6th.
Nice.
Nice.
Tammy
And I
wasn't
just
with
had
us
a new video this morning too, for middle grade books.
I saw that.
And I want to tell Cajun I won't tonight because I'm going to bed. But I wanted to know why you asked me about the last book. Is it bad? The Rita Lakin? Is it because I didn't need to know. I'll message you. having trouble.
Agent says that's why I try to think through my series of what they normally do, etc., to see which might work for the prompts.
Mm-hmm.
People saying good night, and thank you for the sprints, ladies. I hope you have a good week and be safe, everyone. Good night. Cajun says, I've got my second win now, so probably won't fall asleep for a while.
What's going to happen to me in 10 minutes? Watch.
Right?
And I still got to get out my May new releases, and I swear, like half the books are probably going to be out by the time I actually.
That's how I feel. I'm like, because old school April occupied April, so didn't get.
Yeah, and I just got the wrap up for that out today, so I'm like, I'm getting there. I got everything, but. Oh, and Annie says, "What's your channel name, Tammy?" So
the cutest YouTube name.
I absolutely love it.
Me too.
Believe in yourself.
Sorry, I had the microphone
actually
off because my husband was in. But yeah, it's believe in yourself.
Love it.
So, okay, good night, everybody, and have a good week, and read lots of fun stuff.
Yes.
And put all your food together.
Good night, Storm.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody. Thank you.
Good to see you, Lee and Tammy. Bye.
Bye.